Greetings, friends! We are back here for another story time. This week, it's a really special book to me. Okay, so I have a family members that actually wrote this book. So it is called The Life of Ellie. So I'm super excited to read this book to you all today. I hope that you really enjoy this book. Jan and Erik and everybody that helped make this book happen, thank you so very, very much. And yes, so The Life of Ellie. I hope you all enjoy. On the day Ellie arrived, Carson stood at the window watching deliveries come to his house. Most of the packages were for his new baby sister, Everly. Usually, the boxes were brown and square, but as Carson watched the mailman grab a large white box from the back of his truck and walk to the front steps, he knew something special was inside.
Maybe it's a big green dinosaur,
he thought,
or an awesome blue shark.
His imagination ran wild. He was so excited, he couldn't wait to see what was inside. "Slow down, buddy," his dad said, laughing. "This is for Everly." Dad told Carson to stick his hand in the box and guess what it is. Carson reached in the box and felt something soft and fuzzy. But what is it? He squeezed and slowly pulled it from the box. Carson's eyes grew wide as his mouth dropped open. He was holding the most beautiful pink stuffed elephant he had ever seen. She had big floppy ears, shiny gray eyes, a long pink trunk, and a cute little tail. Carson hugged the elephant around her super fluffy, puffy neck and gently whispered,
"Ellie."
"How wonderful, Mom and Dad. We'll give her to Everly when she gets older." And just like that, they closed the box and took it away. Weeks passed, and the box sat on the dusty closet shelf, forgotten. Ellie felt sad and lonely in the dark with no one to play with. "I meant for more than this," she cried, thinking of the little boy with messy blonde hair and bright blue eyes. But where did he go? One day, Carson was playing hide and seek with Mom and Dad. He squeezed into the upstairs closet and giggled to himself.
"They'll never find me here,"
Carson said. "Ready or not, here we come," Mom and Dad shouted. Carson cracked the door open, and from the front corner of his eye, saw a white box sitting on the shelf. Squinting in the darkness, Carson could make out the shape of something long and fuzzy hanging from it. Something long, fuzzy, and pink! "Ellie!" he yipped. Carson reached as high as he could, but even on his tiptoes, Ellie was too far away. He saw a big wooden chest on the floor, and he had an idea. Carefully climbing on top of the chest, he reached again. "Almost," he whispered, and when one final stretch, his fingers wrapped around her trunk. Carson gave her a giant pull, and Ellie flew from the box. Down on the floor they went, plop! Grabbing Ellie and hugging her tightly, he crooned her name softly as she was back in his arms, finally, where she belonged. Mom and Dad walked in to find Carson under a giant heap of pink fluff. "This is the best day ever!" Carson Carson squealed.
Mom, you forgot about the elephant! I really wanted to keep her. She's so soft, and baby sister's too small for her.
They weren't sure Carson should keep Ellie, but there was something sweet about the two of them tangled up. Then Mom and Dad smiled and nodded at each other. They silently agreed Ellie now belonged to Carson. From then on, Ellie went everywhere with Carson and saw all the things he did. She had picnics on blankets while blowing bubbles into the sky. She went on trips to the beach and to the mountains, and once she even rode on the back of a horse. One of the favorite things to do with Ellie was to throw her way up into the air and catch her when she came down. She loved watching the world in action through the little boy's eyes. One day, Mom had baby sister on the floor wrapped up in a special blanket called a swaddle. Mom was making silly faces and talking to her in a funny, high-pitched voice. The baby smiled and giggled at her mommy. Wanting to join in the fun, Carson grabbed Ellie and swaddled her tight. With only Ellie's face and trunk peeking out, Carson hid his eyes and popped out giggling. "Peekaboo," he whispered. Ellie felt so special and silly being wrapped up like a baby. After swaddling came a family favorite, time to dance. Mom turned the music on and they boogied around the house. Carson grabbed Ellie and lifted her above his head. He swung her around and around, letting her long arms and legs flip-flop all around. Ellie had never spun so fast. When the song ended, they fell to the floor laughing, giddy and dazed. From then on, Ellie joined in all the daily dance parties. At bedtime, Mom read Carson a book. He propped Ellie up under his head like a pillow. When the lights went out, they snuggled and chatted about the day. Carson recalled the dance party and giggling when mentioned how he swaddled Ellie like a baby. Ellie's trunk wrapped around Carson's face and he closed his eyes. They both drifted off to sleep, excited and anxious about the next day. Today was Stuffed Animal Day, and Carson was bringing Ellie to school. Carson was so excited to show her off. Ellie had never met any of his friends before. She was a little worried that not everyone would like her, but Carson assured her not to worry, that everyone would love her. At school, she sat on his desk and joined in on craft time and story time. She also met all of his friends. They each shook her trunk and said, "Nice to meet you, Ellie." And Ellie knew they all liked her by their friendly smiles. She loved meeting new friends. Carson and Ellie continue to enjoy all of their days together. But after so much activity, Ellie has begun to look a little worn. Her puffy neck has lost some stuffing and her pink body is a lighter shade. Lots of holes and tears have been repaired and Mom has had to sew her tail on a time or two. Or 10. Like all cuddle stuffies, Ellie gets dirty. But she loves bath time in the washing machine. Carson sits outside the machine and watches her go round and round like all the times they dance. When she's finally drying, he loves to pull her from the dryer and hold her like the first time they hugged. Even with all those repairs and washes, she's still the best cuddle stuffy in the world. Now that Carson is getting older, Mom and Dad sat him down. "Ellie has been so special to you and to our family. One day, they tell him, she will be excited to meet your kids and share their friendship with them too. Carson understands. Someday, soon, when he is feeling his bravest, Ellie will go back into the closet. This time, though, she won't be afraid or lonely. She knows that she will be given to another incredible child with messy hair and loving hugs. And the two of them will begin their whole new set of adventures together. The end. Jan, I want to thank you for this wonderful book. Thank you so much for letting us read this today. I hope that everybody enjoys the life of Ellie. I know that probably everybody in their life has their own favorite stuffy. So thank you very much for this awesome book. And stay tuned next week for another great book. Have a fantastic day, everybody, and enjoy your weekend. And listen to The Life of Ellie over and over again. Have a great day, everyone.